Hi, and welcome to another episode from Education Cloud Podcast. In this episode, using the code DMRate, you'll be able to get access to a material called Conversion Rate Optimization that will teach you, surprise, how to do conversion rate optimization. Now, Florin, I actually know that you built this material starting from a funny story from Facebook.
Yeah, we actually call it like conversion rate optimization of Facebook story because it's actually true. It actually came from a Facebook story. So at one point, Facebook wasn't that big at the time, and all of these people from the marketing team and the engineers and everybody was just throwing ideas at Mark Zuckerberg, telling him, "Yeah, you know what, Mark? We need to build this feature. We need to go. We need to buy ads here. We need to buy ads here. We need to start a blog. We need to do this. We need to do that." And he was like overwhelmed with ideas. So you get Mark telling people to shut up. He goes to a whiteboard and he writes growth. And he told them, don't bring me any more ideas if they have nothing to do with growth. Now, here's what growth means it means we need to get more users today than we had yesterday. If you guys can deliver this, then we're going to discuss your ideas.
So to understand how passionate Florin is about this material, he actually almost broke the microphone. So, growth.
Growth,
He
exactly.
literally wrote it with the hand in the air.
Yeah.
So, growth, Florin. Why is growth important for a blog, for example?
It's super important because you need to get more people to your blog, right? I mean, that's what people usually think. But think about this. Will it actually help you to get a lot of traffic to your site if nobody converts? Now, what is a conversion? We're not talking religiously here. So, we're talking about people come to your website and none of them message you. None of them send you an SMS. None of them call your phone number. None of them subscribe to your email lists
None of them buy toys for kids from my
from your website, exactly.
e-commerce website.
Yeah. And they don't even sign up to your newsletter where they can learn about new toys that you will have available in the store in the future months. And basically, you bring all of the traffic, and if nobody makes a purchase on your store, if they don't at least subscribe to your social media or to your YouTube channel or to anything, that means that you've driven that traffic for nothing. And basically, all of your efforts spent on bringing traffic to your site, as we've discussed, via the blog, from social media, from search engines, because we've already discussed about all of this on the Education Cloud podcast, and you've received the codes for free access to the courses, which is available for lifetime. And none of those matter if you don't actually manage to get those people to take actions with your brand. So I've already mentioned them. So we call those actions, we call them conversions. So if you don't get people to make a conversion, then it means that that traffic was not really valuable in the first place. And what people do, and especially growth marketers like Facebook has and a lot of different other companies, is that they actually test a lot of their channels like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Quora, YouTube, you name it. So there are multiple places from which you can get traffic to your website, and they try to figure out which of those sources bring the most conversions, not the most traffic, because in some cases you will have a source bringing very little traffic, but also bringing the most amount of paying customers.
So you're mentioning these conversions, and for example, if I want actually to measure it, so how I can measure this conversion, for example?
The first thing to do is you need to know more about conversions and conversion rate optimization, which is like trying to get like the most conversions out of your website. But if you're a beginner in this, it's best to take the course that we have and with the code that you mentioned to redeem it on your profile on Education Cloud at app.dmsuperstars.com, because if you're doing this for the first time, you will be afraid of the fact that 100 people come to your website and only 7 of them subscribe or take an action. but actually that's a 7% conversion. And in most cases, and especially for most websites, that's a really good conversion rate. But if you don't know this in the beginning, you will say, well, I brought up 100 people. Why did only 7 of them do this? It's a good number because people who browse the web, they don't really have time. They don't really give a lot of their attention. So getting 7% is actually really good. So you can learn about that, and you can learn about a lot of different other cases from the course, which is why we are offering it for free.
Interesting. So actually, for example, if I let's say share something on Facebook, I might better pay more attention to what I write on the call to actions button, because if I don't know, say that contact us, but actually the landing page is a page in which you subscribe to a newsletter or something like that, I might get people annoyed that they can actually contact us
Yeah, that's
for
true.
support, for example, or something like that, right?
That's true. So if the button is about contacting you, then on the page you need to match the intention of that person. So their intention was to contact you, and if on the landing page you do not offer a very clear way in which they can contact you, they will instantly leave. You will lose your traffic, and you will also lose the conversion because you don't match what's on the page with the button that brought them to your page.
Now, Florin, I know that in some articles that you wrote, you have like a trick that you use, and actually you use some method that you place something at the bottom of the article that
Yeah.
people don't usually do. Can you tell us what are you doing and why?
Well, we've actually tested many of these ideas, and we found out that actually you can get people more interested if they're reading, like, for example, about WordPress. They're gonna read about WordPress, like WordPress hosting, WordPress blogging, WordPress themes, plugins, stuff like that, and then they get a place inside of that article as they're scrolling and reading. They will get to a place where it says, "Upgrade your WordPress with excellent SEO." And I don't ask them for an email address because they don't know at the moment if they really want to give out their email address. And it says to place in the URL of their website. And most people, especially those who have websites, they really love their website and their URL. So they are going to place that URL there. And the moment they do and click the green button, they're going to be taken to a place where it tells them that our servers, and this is true, our servers begin processing a lot of information about their site so that when they finish the setup process, everything will be ready for them to use directly when the software is installed on their WordPress sites.
By the way, if you have like a WordPress website and you want to try this, just go on the Scorely website,
Yeah.
and enter your URL there, and you can actually follow all these steps.
Yeah, and you can see this conversion element. You can see it exactly in any article that you find on scorely.co/blog or scorely.co/news.
And actually, you're using, by, if I'm correct, by the way where you place it. So at the end of the article, you optimize the conversion, because it means that the people are actually interested. So
exactly. So basically, you're trying to get people. I mean, we're trying to get people who are actually interested in what our brand offers, and you won't get that if you place everything in the beginning, because those people don't even know your brand yet. They don't even know if they like reading materials from you. They don't trust you. They don't consider you an authority. So just by spamming them at the beginning of everything with multiple pop-ups and things that they can't close, and you're just doing this and that and trying to grab their attention, most people will get annoyed. So by placing them in the middle of the article or at the end of the article, you're actually making sure that those people actually want to scroll down and learn more from you, and then they give you permission to market to them.
And by the way, so no matter what you do, don't spam your audience. Don't just collect emails in order to spam them, because definitely this won't optimize your conversion rate.
Oh no. And even if you manage to somehow trick them to join your email list, you will never make sales, because you've just spammed people, and people will hate your brand for that, and they will never actually buy from it. So your overall conversions from the moment when they visited your site to the moment when they actually purchase something, you're gonna get maybe 1 out of 100 people doing that, or maybe 1 out of 1,000 people, or maybe just 1 out of 10,000 people will actually buy because you annoy them in the process.
Awesome. Any other tip, Florin, that you would like to share in the episode, or we should just let the audience go on the material on the Education Cloud? And
I think they should just go to the material because they're gonna get access to all of these details, and it's gonna be a lot easier to follow because everything is structured in a couple of lessons. So it's gonna be very easy for them to follow each lesson and decide what they need to bookmark, where they need to make notes, and it's gonna be much easier to do that from the platform than from the podcast.
so just go on the Education Cloud website, redeem the code, and don't forget to listen to us in the next episode, in which we'll talk of about another material that Florin and his team created. See you next time.